So what I want to run through today is something in Gemini called Deep Research. Deep Research is actually available across a variety of different LLMs. All it means is what it's going to do is not only use its individual language model to find answers to stuff, but it's also going to go out and do actual research on the web. I personally dig Gemini's deep research versus ChatGPT's and some others. In my experience, I just feel that it goes across more websites better than some of the other ones. You also got to remember too, Gemini, owned by Google, they've been in the business of understanding websites now for a real long time. So as part of PromptMates, just know any of these prompts that we're clicking in and showing, we're going to send to you guys. So you don't have to worry about screenshotting or anything like that. But what we're going to talk about today is using deep research to create battle cards. So you'll have access to this, the deep research battle card prompt. One thing to know is usually we create prompts that you paste in, then I'll ask you some questions and you fill out information. With deep research, as soon as you put a prompt in, it goes off and starts researching. So for this one, what I'd recommend you do, come on over here, make it a copy. We're going to call it PromptMates copy. And then you can go in here and edit away anything you'd like. Instructions are pretty clear. You're going to copy everything from the start all the way down to the end, but first you got to fill out the green. Last time we did a use case about me being an aspiring chief pizza officer. I was told to not use it, can't use pizza again. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about F1. I wrote this use case with a very fresh sunburn from going to the race here in Austin on Friday. So that's what inspired this. So we're going to be Red Bull Racing. We can list our competitors. I'm actually going to have it choose my competitors. You see here where it says find them. Find them. Type of role we're going to be focused on. Let's look for something engineering. So let's do like a power unit design engineer. Since it's Red Bull, we're going to keep it over there. Milton Keynes, we'll keep it in the UK. We're probably going to go for somebody relatively senior. Let's go 12 months. So this is asking like how far back you wanted to actually do the research. I'm going to say 12 months, like one season. And is there a special focus? I'm going to say no special focus. So now I've got a prompt that I've customized. I'm going to start here, copy it all the way down to end of prompt. And I'm going to come over here. Now, you got to make sure that we do deep research for this. So there's two different ways to do deep research. You can click deep research and then it'll come up on the bottom. If by chance you forget to click it when you paste your prompt in, I guess you can still do it. You can also go here and click deep research. Now, this is going to run and it's probably going to take somewhere in the neighborhood of like, usually 5 to 10 minutes. Obviously, for time, we're not going to go ahead and sit here and wait the full 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and let this one run and, kind of like I'm pulling a cake out the oven on a baking show. We're going to go ahead and show you what to do with the deep research battle cards that I got back. Okay. So I'm going to do this right here in just an open new Gemini chat. If I were doing this for my company, I've actually worked for Red Bull Racing and I was having to compete against these teams all that often in recruiting, I'd probably go ahead and create a gem and then add this. Joe's going to show you gem creation. So I didn't want to be duplicative. So what I'm going to do here is add a file. And remember, Joe showed us that we're all connected up. So I'm going to add it from Drive this time. You'll see here, UK F1 competitor battle card. So what I've done now is when we talk about setting context and we talk about making sure that you tell the junior recruiter as much information as you can so that they can go out and do their search. What we've just done is we have set the context. We've said this is about a 22-page document. There's a 22-page document all about why Red Bull Racing is fantastic and why it's better than the competitors in the UK. In this case, Aston Martin, probably McLaren, and I'm sure it'll pull Mercedes. How we can properly sell against them. And then in the prompt too, we can take a quick look. I mean, the things that it's pulling are stuff around finance, momentum, talent, and culture, stuff from Glassdoor, Blind, any kind of compensation information based on external pay transparency from job descriptions, just overall talk tracks. So we designed this to go out and find everything we could that we felt was useful for a recruiter to be able to sell against a competitor. But if there's something else in here you really wanted, you could always go in and tweak your individual prompt. Now, also, just in the interest of speed, I have given you a quick starter prompt as well. So we can go here and we can put in our quick starter prompt. And you'll see here, you just got to put in your role. So the role we were doing is going to be a senior design engineer. And we work for Red Bull. And let's see, who do we care about? We care about McLaren and we care about Aston Martin right now. We're not going to worry about a third competitor today. And then go ahead.
I was just gonna unnecessarily be angry there was no mention of Ferrari, but probably not relevant.
So I've decided that our design engineer wants to stay in the UK. So he's just not interested in possibly going to Italy. So I kept it all in your neck of the woods. All right, now turn off deep research, which when I do that, guess what's going to happen? I just realized it's going to go ahead and delete my prompt. So I'm going to kill it. And see, it's going to make me start a new chat. So once again, this is just for review. I'm doing it for everybody so they know where to find it. Okay. Now, up here, you've got Flash and you've got reasoning. For this purpose, I'm going to go with Flash. All Flash is doing is it's the quick. It's an execution. Research is going to go out and maybe the reasoning is going to do a little bit more thinking. Since we're giving this such a really small data set, we're giving it like a 22-page Google Doc. Flash is fine. So we're going to leave it on Flash and hit submit. Now, what this will do is it's going to go out and give us a real first level about why they should want to come to Red Bull. Okay. So how to go against McLaren, their success is recent. Ours is more extensive. We can talk about, I'm sure they're going to talk about, the high financial risk and delayed payoff of Aston. So this is something that you can have to be able to dive into immediately. But where I find is like interaction is what really matters. So now that we've set the stage, we can say things like, the candidate told me Aston Martin said they will beat any offer that we put forth. Because, they got deep pockets. Now, what this should do is it should basically now give me an understanding of like, yes, Aston has the ability to pay a lot of money right now. However, it's going to be high risk. I bet you that's what's going to say. And I want to make sure we have plenty of time to get Joe's thing. So in the interest of that, as it starts to come back, we can have a whole nother question ready to go. Let's say something like the team over at McLaren said their culture is better. This is why they have cakes pop out of ovens on cooking shows. So I'm going to queue this guy up just in case. And then I'm going to cheat and refresh this and see if I can go ahead and hop Google to push itself forward. Oh, let's try the Aston again. Aston Martin told them that they will beat our salary offer by 15%. How do I combat that? Let's see if we get a little bit more. Remember the junior recruiter? Maybe I didn't give them enough context. There we go. Okay. So it's going to come in and say that yes, there is perhaps a better salary increase, but look at that. You put your total career at risk. How many times have we done that? How many times in recruiting have we said, yes, you can go work for, XYZ company, but like you're going to be employee number, 40,044. Whereas you come here, you're going to be employee number 11, and there's so much more upside, these sorts of things. Financial stability. I bet you they're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about, yeah, which one has a more stable future for a senior employee? One with proven commercial financial health, or one gambling on a massive debt to maybe win in 2016? So I would argue that that's ethical when you're bringing forth a good problem to them. Now let's really quickly give it the thing we already seeded about McLaren saying their culture is fantastic. The prestige tax. I appreciate that McLaren does a fantastic job of managing its public image, especially after the recent success. But let's be honest, for a senior engineer like you, culture isn't about PR. It's about professional respect, work-life stability, and financial reward, all of which. So now let's go ahead and say, these are all great. Uh, Using my tone of voice, here's a little preview for what Joe's going to show you how to do. My tone of voice, send the candidate an email saying, send the candidate an email countering these points. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add my tone of voice. This is the thing that Joe's going to show us all how to do. Oh, I should have put Jason's tone of voice. There we go. All right. Honestly, this to me feels like probably not something I want to throw in an email. I don't really want to put in writing from Red Bull that I'm talking smack about Adrian Newey. Like that's not a good look. So finally, the last thing I could say is, on second thought, this is better as a call. Can you write an email asking them for 20 minutes on the phone and create for me the talking script so I can address the issues? So through a 10-minute search directly about our competitors and now in 5 minutes, we've been able to understand a candidate's genuine concerns about why they should or shouldn't come to Red Bull in this case. We have decided that sending that information in an email is unprofessional, and in such want to go ahead and do it in person, and then created an invite for them to go ahead and come do it in person. So there's my deep research. I really want to get to Joe's stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and kick it back over. But once again, you guys will get the prompts after this, and you can do this yourself.
Thanks, man. You know how recruiters all like to kind of complain about that hiring manager that maybe makes our life a little difficult. I'm wondering if anyone's had a hiring manager as bad as Christian Horner before.
I'm sure we all have.